What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to yet another video. So today we're finally lowering the F10. This past Black Friday, I was able to snag a brand new set of ECS Tuning coilovers for about 50% off. Now, depending on who you are, that might be a reflection of the quality of these coilovers. $500 for coilovers is not a lot of money, but to be able to have dampening control, preload control, and height adjustment control for 500 bucks, I figured I'd bite the bullet, check them out, and see how it goes. The F10 is not my daily driver. This is kind of my weekend car. I just kind of use this to go cruise and like take photos and cruise the coast and stuff. So for 500 bucks, if I can get the look that I'm going for with the car and 75 to 80% of the ride quality, then it will totally have been worth it to buy these coilovers. So anyways, let's dive right into it. Let's go. Alright, so as you can see, I've already started digging into this corner of the car. I already have the ECS Tuning coil installed on this side. And if you look, like I was saying before, there's a preload adjustment here. You could spin this collar and preload the spring less or more to your liking. You can of course adjust the height by spinning this shock, like grabbing these and spinning this and then tightening this collar down. And then of course all four corners come with dampening control. This kit's really cool because it also comes with adjustable sway bar end links, like brand new, so that's pretty rad. My goal for lowering this car is simply to eliminate any wheel gap I had. I don't want any gap in between the top of the tire and the fender liner to show. I'm not trying to go like full static, but when I bought the car, the previous owner had installed some just aftermarket 20-inch wheels on the car, and so they're pretty big, so it's not going to be hard to eliminate that wheel gap and not have the car be extremely low and undrivable. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. I don't have it adjusted, obviously. I kind of set it to what I think is going to be a good height, and I'm going to do that on all four corners. And then when I get it down and drive it, and once the suspension settles a little bit, I'm going to adjust it and get it all even and whatnot. But anyways, I'm going to move on to the other corner of the car and get it going. Here we go. Alright, before we dive into it, I did really quickly want to just show you a couple of the steps you're going to have to do to take it out in case you're referencing this video on how to remove suspension on your F10. This isn't meant to be a how-to, but I'll just very quickly glance over what you have to remove to be able to take the front strut out of the car. So there are 3 bolts up top right here. You have to get underneath your hood. These are each 13s, so you'll loosen those. Take note of this bolt down here. This holds on your upper control arm underneath. You'll have to remove this and the nut on the other side of it to be able to pull this out. And there's one more bolt on the control arm I'll show you underneath that you have to take out, because you have to swing the control arm out of the way to be able to make room to get the strut out of the car. That, I believe, is a 16. Down here, you want to take out your tie rod bolt, or sorry, tie rod nut right here. I completely removed the tie rod because I'm replacing it, of course. If you look, that is the other bolt I was telling you about. Once you have that side apart and loose and the 3 bolts up top, and this is able to move around, that will be a lot easier to reach down there. And then last but not least is that nut and bolt on the other side to the lower control arm right here. Kind of hard to see, but and those are both 18s. Actually, that's not true. The bolt is an 18. This one, I believe, is a 21, 22. I don't remember. I just used a little crescent wrench to hold it while I loosened it up. But once all that's loose, you can take the control arm, lean it out this way, and just pull the whole strut out of the car. So anyways, that's how you do it. I'm going to do that real quick and get this thing out of here and go ahead and install the coilover. Here we go. Alright, so about 10 minutes later, I was able to take the strut out. Let me show you guys now that it's not in there what I was talking about. So if you look, there's one bolt here, and then the bolt that goes through the top side, like underneath the hood, that is held in also by this little nut right here, both of which are 16 on the one under the hood, and then that's a 16 millimeter as well. But I start off by getting this one completely out from the top, take the nut off and take that out, and then I'll loosen the strut up from the bottom down here, and then with this a little loose and the strut loose because the 3 bolts are taken out of the top, you have room to kind of pull the strut back and get a tool back here to be able to get this 16 off. My setup was a little gnarly. I used like an extension and a little wobbly to kind of get it from this side over here behind the strut. But once you get it, you pull this whole thing out and hang it to the side, and then you yank this whole thing down. See how it kind of is rocking to make room to pull the strut out. And the really awesome thing, at least in my case, I can't speak for all coilover brands, but once you do that, you could actually button all this stuff back up with the strut out, where you have a ton of room to do it, and then put the coilover in, because the coilover is physically designed smaller or shorter, so you could have all this buttoned up and then still have room to fit it in right here. So you could tighten all this stuff down without a strut in here, which is really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll get started on the rears. All right, one thing I am gonna do really quick is adjust these as best as I can to match the other side before I put these on. So I've already kind of measured out what I'm supposed to have as far as like what's showing on the screwed part right here, like the shock itself. So I'm gonna measure that, adjust it, and then throw it in so I don't have to do it in the car, because it's kind of a pain like that. So here we go. Alrighty guys, it's been maybe 2 hours since the last clip. I really struggled with this driver's rear side. Normally I have access to a lift. I work at a dealership, but I really wanted to like film this process for you guys, and so I have the car up in the air, but I don't think I got it high enough, to be honest, because I had a really hard time finding leverage with the tools I have. I was barely inching along, and I had a really hard time breaking the bottom strut bolt loose, which is why it's taken me so long. But thankfully I got this side squared away. I'm currently working on the passenger side. It's all apart, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that coil in and hopefully wrap this up and get this thing on the ground and pull it out before the sun goes down. So here we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, so we're finally all done. I got to put the wheels on the car right now, but I wanted to show you guys just real quick, because I kind of explained the front a little bit, how to take the rears off. Let me show you. So there are 3 nuts way down in here. You have to take your speaker cover off and remove the speaker out of it, or just hang it over. But down there's 3 little nuts that hold the top of the strut on. As for down here, let me get my flashlight. You can see it's all on there, but right back there's a huge bolt, and that thing for me was torqued really tight, so just be careful when you're trying to take that off. But you remove that, and then you're going to want to remove this control arm right there, kind of shining the light on it. You remove those clips and just pull it off. There's a bolt there and this nut down here, and then take off that tie rod nut on the other side. You'll see it, and you should have just enough room to pull the strut out and then install whatever coilover you're trying to do. But anyways, that's just a little overview. I can go in depth in another video, but for now I'm gonna toss the wheels back on really quick. The sun's going down pretty fast, so hopefully I can get the car back on the ground and at least pull it out and show you guys what it looks like all wrapped up. So here we go. Oh my god. I'm probably gonna have to adjust this, because this also is gonna have to settle as I drive it over the next few days. But dude, it's so low, you guys. Holy crap, man. It does look good. I'll give it that. Oh my gosh. Dude, and these have like probably another, dude, probably an inch, maybe inch and a half before they're maxed out. So, oh my gosh, man. That's gnarly, you guys. It looks good. Oh, alrighty, you guys. The car is done for today. I'd show you some better clips, but obviously the sun has gone down and, you know, I didn't get a chance to pull it out in time. But not too bad for half a day's worth of work. I think I started this probably like noon. I don't know what time it is right now, like 5 or 6 or something. But dude, it looks awesome. I'm really excited to drive it and see how it feels. I think I'm definitely gonna have to adjust it because it hasn't even settled yet. In the front wheels are almost tucking. I don't know if you remember in the beginning of the video when I said I just wanted tires to the wheel gap to be gone, but it's literally down. The fender line is all the way down to the front wheels. So I'm probably gonna have to adjust it. I definitely don't want to drive it like that all the time. But anyways, I will be getting some B-roll clips, so those will be in a second for you guys, but probably tomorrow for me. But if you stuck around, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.